Hey everybody, welcome to Perk Up Eh?
Perk Up Eh?
We're here at the Cam River Walkway. We're just out here having a walk. Spring is in the air, thank goodness. It's been quite a winter. Did you find?
Sure has.
I'm a winter lover, but I have to say, even I'm getting a little bit tired of it.
It's been a long winter.
It has been a long winter, but we've survived. Spring is in the air, and we're moving forward. So how good is that? Yeah, right on. So quite a week we've had. I hope you enjoyed our first episode. It dealt a lot with our loving, and that was really amazing event. What was it like for you, Alan? What did you think?
It was so overpowering. It really was. It's overwhelming. We've had so much response to that original post, and it's just been very overwhelming.
It's been really amazing. We had a couple of hundred, I thought 300 people were in attendance. A lot of people showed up that day. A lot of people have been reaching out since just to say that Thunder Bay loves us. And it's so amazing. I think as gay men with the business, putting ourselves out there, there's a certain amount of risk in that. And to be treated this way has just been so amazing. It really has been I would say it's been very healing. It's been very, it's just really, it's really changed. I think it's changed us in a way where it's just been really wonderful. So we can't say enough thank you to everybody who's come out and showed their support. Just really, really amazing.
We literally have gotten thousands and thousands of comments, emails, phone calls, letters,
gifts. There's been some gifts.
It's just been so overwhelming.
It's been really, it's almost like we've been eulogized, but we're still alive. People are saying super nice stuff about us, but we're still here. Yeah. So how nice. I'm glad you didn't save it till we're dead.
Luckily enough, there's thousands of comments. There's not been one negative comment. Not one.
Not one.
No. And often, when there is a topic like this or anything that's sort of divisive, you always have somebody from the other side saying, well, if you look at it this way, but not this time.
Yeah, not one single, not even a medium comment. Like they were all like super amazingly nice. So
what that tells me is that our community knows.
Yeah.
They know that. They know that that's not acceptable.
And they say Thunder Bay has a giant heart, and sometimes we don't always see it, but you know what? Times like this, we see it loud and clear, and so how wonderful.
It definitely are the city with a giant heart.
Yeah, and I think for young people that are growing up, that are questioning their sexuality, their identity, they're not sure who they are, for them to see two men being celebrated in this way, that's very powerful. That didn't exist when we were kids. That wasn't around, and so proud of that, very proud to be that for people. So if you're looking up and you see us and you think that's okay, we're really glad.
Yeah. Well, we've had a number of people come and tell us that specifically, that this has affected them personally and given them courage to stand up and say, you know what,
I am who I am. What can you do? And really,
and several parents have come back.
Yeah.
To say that this is how good shit. Yeah. And it's just really grateful. So we're super, super grateful for that, because that was the whole reason. That was the whole reason for sharing this letter. To show other kids, to show anybody who's questioning that, that doesn't belong here. That type of behavior doesn't belong here. It's not acceptable. So that's the whole purpose of that, and so I'm glad it's
and if we can just all be our truest selves, what a beautiful world this would be, eh? So, there you go. Awesome. So today we went on a little bit of an adventure. We went up to the Finnish bookstore and to the Hoito, and we met with the owner of the Hoito, Brad McKinnon, to find out what is his plans, what's going on. We wanted to talk to him. How did you feel when it burned down?
It's a very good conversation.
Yeah.
Check it out.
So here we are. Perk up, eh? Perk up, eh? Perk up, eh? Perk up, eh?
Hey everybody, it's a beautiful day today. We're just out checking the neighborhood, and we decided to wander down to the Finnish bookstore and the kitchen nook. So we're just here having a look around.
Just browsing around, but we see this. Richard, can you tell us a little bit about what this is here?
Well, guys, this is the amazing time capsule from the Finlandia Hall.
That's the time capsule?
Yeah,
it's very small, man.
I know. Is it kind
bigger,
of? I know,
yeah.
And it doesn't look like a
capsule.
capsule.
They were smaller back then, though.
It's not a capsule.
No, I thought it was going to be a
But look at it, it's pretty cool. It's copper.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so we're really excited to open it.
You haven't looked inside?
No, because what we're going to do is it's going to be part of our fundraising campaign, and we're going to have the Finnish Canadian Historical Society open it on the day that we launch our fundraising campaign.
Oh, and when is that going to be? Do you know?
End of the month, beginning of April.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
What's the
we're
fundraiser for?
The fundraiser is going to be to enable the cupola and the facade of the original hall to be replicated.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, so we're going to sell bricks, original bricks from the building.
From the building.
Yeah,
Nice.
here's one. But what we're going to do is, you know what, we're going to actually have them imprinted with the silhouette of the hall and the date.
Nice.
So it'll be like a keepsake
Yeah, it's
piece.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Really
And then
nice.
you'll be able to contribute to the rebuilding of the
Yeah, and so like I said, on that day they're going to open it. We'll have the scale, the iconic Hoito scales coming back.
Ah,
So that'll all be
Yeah.
kind of put together so that on that day, it'll be like lots happening.
That'll be so
is the
amazing.
scale coming here?
Yes, it was
No,
here,
I-
well, you know, it was in the Hoito originally.
Yes.
Then after the devastating fire, it was brought here. And now it's getting, we have Dennis, this gentleman who's restoring it.
Yeah,
Unbelievable,
we hear it's
restoring
being
it.
refurbished. It's going
Yes,
to be
it's going to be
rebalanced.
beautiful. It's going to be like, wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, so
And
that's
it's
going
not
to
going to
come
add 50 pounds to you anymore.
Yeah, right, like the original one, everybody said it didn't work. That was a good
added 20
excuse.
pounds for shit.
Yeah. So now you'll have to be honest.
Yeah, right on.
Right on. Well, thank you. That's very helpful. And we're going to go up the street and
Meet Brad.
let's go meet Brad. Brad, hi, I'm Gary.
Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too. And
I'm
this is
Alan.
Alan.
Nice to meet you, Alan.
Awesome. Well, thank you for meeting with us today. We're excited to be here. Hi, everyone. We're here with Brad McKinnon. Brad is the owner of the Hoito, and we had to reach out and talk to him because we're fascinated. We just want to know what's going on here at the Hoito. Let's find out. So, Brad, you have a connection to Thunder Bay. You're not living here currently.
I am.
You
yeah,
are. You're currently living here.
Yeah, I've relocated to Thunder Bay. I've been here since November of 2020.
Oh, no way. Oh,
Yeah.
right on. How do you like it so far?
I love Thunder Bay. Well, I was
Yeah.
born and raised in Northern Ontario. I was born and raised in the Sioux.
Oh, no way.
And I moved up to Thunder Bay for university back in 2000, stayed for 4 years. And at that time, you know, in education and biology and forestry, that was my background, there weren't a lot of jobs. So I moved down to Barrie back in 04 and haven't been actually back since 2010. So when I came back, a lot had changed.
Yeah.
And you know, one big change was this building was vacant. It was
Yeah.
closed down. So
Wow. So when you were a student here, did you frequent the Hoito? Or are you
absolutely,
familiar
it
with
was one of our favorite places to go. You know, as a group, even as just as one person. You know, in the evenings, I used to
Yeah.
come there and sit down at the bar and have a bowl of their moyaka, and you know, and it was a place to meet on Saturdays with friends and family. You know, I have
Yeah.
fond memories of the building, the staff, the food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's an amazing place. I grew up in this neighborhood, so
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with it as well. We
Yeah, I
came
mean, it's a
down here
great
all the time as
neighborhood.
kids,
I was a little bit shocked and sort of, you know, saddened by the fact that the Hoito had closed.
Yeah.
And I saw the building come up for sale, and I wasn't really sure what to do with it in the beginning. You know, I tried to get a hold of members of the organization in the Finlandia club and the Finnish cooperative, and sort of bounce some ideas off them, you know, what we could do with this building, but
Right.
you know, nothing was really
So
forthcoming
you
at the time.
approached them first when they were still an active organization. They were still.
Well, I think the Finlandia club had been dissolved or was not active at that
Right,
time,
they
but I
were
was
still
reaching
in.
out to individuals within the organization, just trying to, you know, give them the opportunity to, you know, have a say in what we might do with the building. But it's a big structure, a lot of space inside. I mean, the intended purpose originally on the main floor, have a theater. You know, there's a theater for, you know, performances and
Right.
dances and whatnot, and a banquet hall. There's just not a lot of need for that.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a desire for that these days.
Especially now.
Well,
Things
kids.
have changed.
Well, number one, during the pandemic, you can't go out.
Yeah.
Right? You can't go to dances, and even, you know, before the pandemic, young people don't go to dances and socials anymore.
Right.
It's just not.
It's
Not part of the culture anymore, right? So I think it was really struggling to pay its way.
Right.
You know, so the restaurant was really supporting the rest of the building, and it was ultimately it just couldn't carry itself. So.
Well, it's a challenging business to be in the first place. But if you have to support something more than just your business, with your business, you know what I mean, with a food business, that's tricky for sure.
It was unfortunate because, it was a great restaurant, it was a great place to be, but it was supporting the rest of the building, all the property that surrounded it, a huge tax bill, huge overhead and costs, and it just was, it was doomed to eventually close.
So
but we want to bring it back,
hard enough as
right?
it is,
We want to bring the restaurant back, and there's a bunch of local businesses and local entrepreneurs have got together, and they're rallying their time, their resources, money, fundraisers, pooling money together to reopen the restaurant, and I think it'll be better than ever.
Did I read somewhere, I think, that there's talk of having it on the main floor instead of the basement now?
Yep. So the basement, the idea of the Hoito being in the basement will be no more. It will be on the main floor with all the big windows that face Bay Street.
Right.
And we're even going to take the stairs that were out front, increase the size a little bit and make an outdoor patio there.
Oh, nice.
Right. While still honoring, the integrity of the building and the original design.
Right.
I mean, if you look back to the 20s and 30s, there was a wraparound staircase that went around the front entrance.
Oh, no way.
So we sort of want to reintroduce that design element into the front of the building.
Right.
Have a patio with tiered flower beds that sort of look like stairs surrounding that patio.
Sounds nice.
Yeah.
I see you're collecting bricks here.
Yeah, we are. There's thousands of bricks there that we've pulled out of the rubble, and I've got my guys working on it right now, cleaning them up, and you'll see them up for sale as a fundraising effort to help rebuild the cupola and the tower.
Nice.
They're historical elements of the building, but they're also very, very expensive elements of the building.
Yeah.
So you'll see them go up for sale at the finished bookstore, hopefully at the end of this month or the beginning of April.
Nice.
So the bricks will be, like I said, they'll be cleaned, they'll be stamped with an image of the building and numbered, so you know which brick that you got out of our fundraiser. Right?
Amazing.
Cool. That's amazing.
So it's a way for everyone to take a little piece of, the Hoito or the Finnish Labor Temple or the Finlandia, whatever you want to call it. It has many names in the community. You can take a piece of the building home with you and also know that you're part of the effort to rebuild what's been lost.
That is really incredible.
That's an amazing idea. I love it. I love it.
So just before Christmas, we were at the coffee shop. We were baking cookies one night, getting ready for our customers for Christmas, and we saw a fire truck go by. We didn't think anything of it, and we came outside a little while later. And we looked at the street, and we couldn't believe that the Hoito was on fire.
I couldn't believe it either when I got the news.
How did you feel when you got that call? Someone phoned you and said it's on fire?
Yeah, actually the city building inspector called me, and I had left that morning around 10:30 for Sault Ste. Marie. And I just sat down for dinner with my grandfather at his place in Lake Superior, and I got the phone call, and my immediate reaction was, no way, you're kidding. Like, stop, this is a joke. And he goes, no, Brad, really, the building's on fire.
Because you guys had done a lot of work at that point already.
Oh yeah. Like we were 80% complete.
Wow.
And he says, there's smoke coming out of the second floor, and you got to be kidding me. No, I said, I just called 911, the fire truck's on its way.
Oh my God.
And so I hopped back in my truck. My brother was with me, and we drove back to Thunder Bay that same night. So, round trip, we did almost 16 hours in the truck that day, and snowstorm all the way back, of course.
Wow.
And by the time I got here, it was probably 2:45 in the afternoon, or in the morning, sorry, just before 3 a.m. And the building, it was still on fire, but the damage had been done. The water was just pouring onto the building. The basement was filled up with water. It was just, there was a river going down Bay Street. It was just, it was sad. It was really, really sad,
Did you know pretty much right away that this was a write-off? Like this was, you're going to have to do a rebuild? That was my guess. As soon as we saw it, I thought, that building's gone. Yeah, but
with the amount of water that those fire trucks put out, I've been told it's, I think, 800 to 1,000 liters or gallons a minute. It's an incredible amount of water.
I know we watched those trucks pump water for 2 days.
I think there was about 4 trucks going there at one point. There was a lot. There was just so much water put into the building. There was so much water put into the first and second floor that it actually bowed out the supports in the basement.
Yikes.
All right, so all the support columns were just like a, just like a bow and arrow.
And it was so cold that the water was freezing. And
well, it was all, everything. The whole building was covered in water and frozen on the inside. Ash and charcoal everywhere, all the way down into the basement. Like it was just, Yeah, it was.
So how soon did you know right away that you're going to be rebuilding? Like, how long did it take you to switch and say, we had this plan, now there's been a fire, now we're going to move forward in a new direction?
The very next day, it was still on
Very
fire.
next day.
It was still on fire, and I said, well, this is a tremendous setback. I mean, there was feelings of, despair, anger, disappointment. I spent a year and a half of my life in this building.
Absolutely.
It was part of the family.
Yeah.
My grandfather.
You've been working on it this whole time.
The whole time, my grandfather had been here working with me. My father, 2 of my brothers, my mother, friends. I had a lot of people that
Sounds like us going into the coffee shop days. We just recruited everybody. We were like, hey, we need help.
well, that's right. And my family has a very sort of can-do sort of attitude, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a job to be done, you do it.
Yeah.
Put your head down, power through it, and get it done.
Right.
And there was just so much hard work that had gone into, cleaning out the inside of the building and rebuilding.
Right.
It was just a shell.
Yeah.
By the time the demolition on the inside was done, right, it was completely rebuilt from the ground up. And all that hard work, just to have, taken away from you, but whatever. We'll find a way. We're going to rebuild it. I knew immediately that we couldn't just leave it like that.
Yeah.
So had people purchased condos already? Had people already?
They weren't for sale. They were for lease.
Oh, okay.
And
no way.
and we
right
had
on.
about half a dozen units leased out
Get
already.
out. Oh, well, will you be doing the same model then? Will this be condo or will it be leased?
Well, there'll be individual condos, but they will be for lease.
Oh,
Nothing
okay.
will be for sale.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So that is. Well, that's new rental properties then for Thunder Bay, right?
Absolutely.
We need
So
that.
We needed that.
Yeah, we
when we're
desperately
done
need
here, it'll be done in 3 phases. Phase 1 will be the front part. Phase 2, the side by the credit union. Phase 3, where Kifla is.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll
3
be
separate buildings or are they
no,
attached?
there'll be two buildings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this building will be done in 2 phases,
Uh-huh.
and then the one in the back will be a separate phase, right?
Wow.
So there'll be about 90 units when we're done here.
Really?
Wow.
That's
Which I think
amazing.
is this is obviously a tragedy. It's bad
Yeah.
news for the neighborhood,
Yeah.
but there has to be good news somewhere.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
And I think the good news is in the fact that we will rebuild.
Yep.
The front half of the building, third or half of the building,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll redo the facade in the historical manner in which it was originally built.
Yeah. Why
know,
is
it's-
that important to you?
Why?
Yeah.
Because, I'm a son of Northern Ontario. I'm a resident, was a resident of Northern Ontario, am again.
Right.
And I think that there's a real connection between this building and the culture of Thunder Bay.
There is absolutely.
I
Right,
agree,
so,
yeah. It's
Like,
nice to see.
you go anywhere in Ontario, even outside of the province, anywhere in Canada, and you say the name Thunder Bay. What buildings come to mind?
Yeah.
If you've been a
building,
tourist to
course.
Thunder Bay,
Yeah.
this is one of the first
This
buildings.
and the pagoda. I think that's all we've got, really.
Right?
Well, it's always been like if you go to Thunder Bay, you have to go to the Hoito, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
It's one of the must-sees in Thunder Bay.
It's unfortunate that that's the only part of the building that most people can relate with, because there are
Right.
other beautiful elements
Yeah.
of the building.
Yeah.
But that is the one that I think that most people can connect to.
Right.
And it's one of the reasons it's so important, for me to bring it back.
Right.
As well as the other individuals that are working on this, right? There's lots of people that have come together to try and reopen the restaurant.
There's an awful lot of interest in this building. It's,
Yeah, and
absolutely.
I think it's important to the culture of Bay and Algoma.
absolutely.
The history and just the feel of the neighborhood. I mean, when you walk up Bay Street today, it doesn't look the same.
No, it does
there's
not.
something like an arm has been
missing.
ripped out of the body, of Bay and
For
Algoma.
sure.
Yeah.
So it's important to bring it back. It's important for, I think, the morale of the neighborhood, the historical feel of the neighborhood. Even from an economic perspective, this brought in a lot of people,
Yeah.
a lot of foot traffic into this neighborhood.
Absolutely.
And you keep that connection to the past then, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
nice that you have such respect for it.
I do, and-
not a
and-
lot
and-
of developers would necessarily, So it's really, really awesome that you want to.
The easiest thing, for myself and my company to do would have been to demolish the building, pave it over and put a, pay parking. There's
new
not enough
building.
parking downtown, so I mean that would be a no-brainer for many people. But for myself, it's not an option.
No. Good.
You know,
We're glad to hear that for sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
We need the Hoito back.
We do.
We do.
well, and it's not just bringing the Hoito back. It's also about, I think, adding to the neighborhood.
Yeah, oh,
right?
absolutely.
Bringing more residential into the downtown core, high quality residential, not just rooms.
Yeah.
Right, actual homes.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm trying to create here. You know, apartments that are like homes for people.
Well, that's what downtown cores need. They need people living in them, don't they, in order to have prosperity downtown.
Well, and you can see that's the trend in Thunder Bay. People are moving out of the older neighborhoods and moving out of town, you know,
Yeah.
into the suburbs, right?
Yeah.
And I think this development will be a good reason for people to come back downtown.
Absolutely.
And other shops, right? We're putting in 10 commercial spaces, including the Hoito. So there'll be more, you know, shops that we will bring in. We'll invite people to come in, shops that will complement the neighborhood.
Right.
Yeah, that's right on.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, actually, is what else is going in the building? You've got plans for the Hoito, the restaurant,
Yeah.
and some retail space.
Retail space, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's really amazing. Well, it was impressive for us that we met you here and you had a shovel in your hand. Like you're actually working on this project.
Absolutely.
You know, that's really, really amazing. I think that's super, super awesome.
Well, like I tell, you know, my family and friends, there's nothing that I would have my employees do that I wouldn't do myself. And that's just my own work ethos.
That's been our approach
That's
too.
our approach as well.
Yeah.
Us too. There's nothing that we ask our staff to do that we don't do ourselves. And if it's really nasty, we just do it ourselves. We won't make anyone do that.
I think that's part of having realistic expectations as a business owner. You have to understand what your employees are going through, and you can't do that if you're not working side by side with them.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah. For sure.
Luckily, we're a small operation, so you know I can afford to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Absolutely.
right on.
Yeah.
Awesome. So this is it.
This is it. Yeah, it looks really stark and very disappointing, but this is the first step towards rebuilding.
Yeah.
Obviously, taking out the old building and removing the foundation so that we can start as soon as the weather improves. The old foundation is completely gone.
Now, we wanted to ask you about the time capsule that you found. Well, how lucky was that you actually recovered it?
Very,
after
very
all
lucky.
of
It'd be
this?
so easy
Very
to miss
lucky.
it, wouldn't it?
So, you know what? It was honestly, it was like finding a needle in a haystack. And you know what? It's one piece of many small pieces of good news that have come out of the building.
Right.
You know, we were able to save the scale.
Right.
I mean, the scale is an inanimate object. Is you know,
Yeah.
how many Toledo scales are out there? But that scale is the scale that everybody saw as they walked through the doors at the Hoito.
And it weighed
You
us
know,
heavy, 20 pounds. I think it added 20 pounds to each and every one of us.
Can you maybe get it calibrated before you bring it back?
well, and that's part of the good news story. So we have a local Toledo scale repairman,
way.
technician, who has taken the scale into his shop and he's completely pulled it apart. He's cleaned it right back to the original brass.
Wow.
It's getting completely repainted to the original colors, gold and black.
Wow.
Yeah, he's cleaned all the parts inside and he's got it adjusted down to 1 pound accuracy.
Well, that is great news.
So if you go into the restaurant and you have a big meal, you're going to be held accountable for it, okay?
Weigh yourself on the way in and on the way out.
Well, you just have to make sure that you park really far away from the restaurant. You can work it off on your way back to your car. Okay?
Exactly.
So that'll be coming back, and it'll be inside the Hoito restaurant. So will different elements. I'm hoping that we can, if not the contents of the time capsule, a reproduction of the contents can be put on display for people to see.
That would be really neat.
Yeah, so back to the time capsule, we almost lost it.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. My operators, they knew that I was very clear with them that it was somewhere in a corner in the building. There's 8 corners in this building.
Oh.
Okay. So trying to find it in one of those corners was, very trying and time consuming.
So where was it found?
It was found in that corner over there by Calico.
Really, eh?
And in a spot that we were not expecting.
Ah.
Right, yeah. Jorma Halonen from the Finnish Historical Society had been looking through all the records, right, the original minutes, and doing all kinds of research to try and find out the whereabouts of this thing. And we just couldn't pinpoint it, but we thought that it might be where the foundation met the footings, or in what they thought might be a cornerstone. Well, there's no cornerstones in the building, it was all poured concrete.
Right.
And in actuality, there were really no footings either, just really thick walls.
Oh, wow.
Okay, but the time capsule was in the top of the poured concrete wall they had taken a floor joist, I believe, pushed it into the concrete, let it partially set, pulled it back out, and then slid the time capsule into the concrete.
Nice.
And you know, it's about the size of a small laptop. But it's heavy. There's obviously lots of documents in there because it has some good weight to it.
Did you open it?
No, of course not.
Oh, you can't open it?
No, you can't open it.
British Society has to open it.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that up
I
to.
would have opened it.
Well, the top was slightly open, and I did peek inside and I saw some print. So whatever's inside looks to be in excellent condition.
Nice.
Not even like it hasn't tarnished or turned yellow or anything. It's still white. You know, the paper that's inside. But yeah, we're going to leave that up to the Finnish Historical Society, and we're going to open it on the day that we launch our fundraising campaign.
Right
So at
on.
the Finnish bookstore, we'll have a table laid out, and we'll be opening the contents on
shit.
on
That
that
would be
day.
amazing.
That'll be
It's going to be interesting to see what people had to say back in that day. I think 1908 or 1909 is when it was
over
put.
100 years ago. Wow.
Do you have
Yeah.
any thoughts on your own time capsule?
Well, I'm definitely going to tell people where we put it. Yeah. Okay. So that we can find it. And I think we need to put a time limitation on when it's opened. Maybe you know we set it to be opened in 100 years from now.
Good idea.
You know, I mean, I hope the building will stand 100 years. I hope it'll stand longer than that. But it needs to be somewhere visible. I think we'll probably set it in the front patio, like in a stainless steel cylinder.
Right.
Maybe put a bronze plaque or something over top of it, and that'll be there. We know where it is. It's outside of the building. It'll be safe in the event of fire. Right. We have to sort of think ahead. You know, worst case scenario, right?
Wouldn't it be cool to catalog this time capsule and stick that back in?
The
The original time capsule.
Oh, yeah.
So when you open it in 100 years, you're getting two for it.
Well,
Too fair for the people.
I think the Historical Society might have something to say about that.
I would imagine they would like it.
But I made it very clear to them that this is, you know, it's their property. It belongs to the Finnish community. It belongs in the archives, like at archives. So
Absolutely.
immediately I've turned it over to them. But you can see it. It's on display at the Finnish bookstore.
Oh, no way. Oh,
Yeah.
we'll go in there later then.
Yeah,
go check it out.
until it's
Awesome.
opened. Until it's opened.
So there's been a rumor, sort of, that the third floor of the Finlandia, the building, the Labor Temple, was haunted.
People talked about that since I was a kid.
That there's a ghost. Do you know anything about this ghost? Do you think the ghost will return once you reopen?
I certainly hope not, because I'm a bit of a scaredy cat. But yeah, some of my guys were actually convinced that the building was haunted. I mean, I don't pay really any attention to that.
Yeah. People said the third floor for sure.
You know what?
I've been up there.
One of my carpenters, he was 100% certain that somebody came up from behind him, pushed him down to his knees,
Oh my God.
and he was convinced the place was haunted.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was working. He was
really?
working away, and he collapsed right on his knees. And he said he felt someone with their hands on his back push him down to his knees.
Oh my God.
See, I was just asking as a joke.
No, he was.
Who
he
knew?
was, yeah, he was convinced. Yeah.
That is amazing, eh? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. Well, hopefully they have moved on, or maybe you'll do some sort of
They've been set free.
smudging or something.
Well, personally, I don't believe in that sort of stuff, but
okay, right
yeah.
Oh, well, good.
Makes a good story though,
Your
right?
carpenter
Well,
does now.
my carpenter does, yeah. Well, I'm hopefully optimistic that whatever ghosts we're hanging around, if any, we're good. We're good souls.
They're
Yeah.
good ghosts. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know?
Right on. Okay. Well, Brad, thank you so much. This has
Yeah.
been so interesting.
Yeah, it's been great.
Well, you'll have to
connecting.
stop in when we start rebuilding, and you
Yeah.
can get a better idea of the concept of what we're doing here.
Oh, right on. Maybe we could do like an update or something.
Why not?
midway through. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Right on.
Okay.
Well, thank you very
Nice
much.
to meet
Thank
you guys.
Nice
Thanks
to
for
meet
coming
you
down to the
too.
site.
Yeah. Right
and
on. Awesome.
and great things to come.
Perk up, eh? Perk up, eh? Perk up, eh? Perk up, eh?